Hi, today I have a message called A Channel for Spirit. Starting with, there are no corners of this stream that are beyond my reach. My meaning Holy Spirit. So whenever I don't feel good, which is a phrase I say so much, I'm doing what I can from blocking Holy Spirit to reach all the way into the corners of my dream. And I have so many opportunities to stop and see this. It's like, stop, see it, release. Stop, see it, release. But there are still places where the habitual thinking and defining and defending is so strong that it seems to take a prolonged stop to allow the Holy Spirit in there, because the knee-jerk reaction is going to be to blame or idolize someone or something in a distraction from what's here to serve us all, uplift us all, show us all right now. But I'm either going to idolize or demonize someone or something. I'm turning left, I'm turning right, instead of going where the Holy Spirit's leading me. And how do we know when we don't feel good? We're trying to go instead of on the path the Holy Spirit always has ready for us. It's always walking with us, and Jesus is walking with us. We turn left, we turn right. And what do Holy Spirit and Jesus do when we do that? They wait. They stay on the path. They stay right where we are. I mean, we're actually home in heaven, right? And if you don't, those symbols don't work for you, find your own, but they mean the same thing. We are where we truly are. We're not where we aren't, in a place where we imagined. But it seems we go left and right off the path. And Holy Spirit and Jesus just wait until we're ready to reorient, get on the path, go with the flow. And it's a good thing to see that wherever I would resist or define someone else, try to categorize, analyze them, figure them out, look at them, squint in their direction and make a pronouncement about them. That's exactly where I've said to Holy Spirit, not here, not now, not yet. I'm going to handle this. So the energy of not feeling good becomes associated, like the energy of tension, stress, becomes associated with right here, right now is where I can let Holy Spirit in. You can feel that what was once stress becomes an awareness of the huge expansiveness and power of the Holy Spirit's presence. So it's like it goes from one thing, which was like the power that stress seems to have, the hold that it seems to have over you, the direction in which it would send you with some degree of force or power or momentum, all of those thoughts. And then now it becomes a reminder, because what I'm blocking out when I feel that is Holy Spirit. Here's Holy Spirit's beautiful, vast, powerful, benign presence, which would only deliver good to everyone. It would only deliver solutions in which no one ever loses. Imagine that. And then look how hard we fight against it. And that's okay, because now we can see what we've been up to. And then we can relax into what is here and say, what would you have me do? What would you have me say? Where would you have me go? What can I do for him, your holy son? That's from A Course in Miracles. And gender doesn't matter. Use any words, use no words. They're just words. Which A Course in Miracles also calls, they're just symbols of symbols. They're twice removed. But Spirit can still pick them up and use them. Okay. You can think of Holy Spirit as our unifying voice. And who belongs to that hour? Everyone. It's fun to stop and think that everything that comes through everyone and everything can be the presence of Holy Spirit, including what you call you. I love to stop and rest in that and just consider it. Because ego has all these decisions and predictions about what's going to come through everyone and everything. And where ego thinks it needs to block or stop or avoid or run away, it does that. Where ego thinks it needs to run toward and attempt to extract, it does that. Where ego thinks it needs to make an alliance with another false self and have what it calls a connection with another false self, it does that. But then here's this opportunity to just rest and look at everything around you. Consider everything in your day. And think, Holy Spirit is the unifying voice of all of this. What comes through all of this can be what I truly am, which is unified and pure and benign. But ego tells us our protection is in remembering the past, remembering the details of the past, remembering what ego says we should do and not do, remembering what we need to defend against, remembering what we need to avoid, remembering what we need to run to, what we need to try to grab or take. We need to remember with whom it would be appropriate to make alliances. We need to remember whom it would be appropriate to condemn. The ego needs us to remember a lot of stuff from the past and to figure out. And the ego offers to keep us safe. But with the ego saying it will keep safe is our separate sense of self, which dies. That's what a separate sense of self was made for. And then here's spirit, which just offers and offers and offers and offers and offers to you and everyone and everything in endless giving, a stream of the true nature of what you are, forever, taking care of any problems that may appear in ways in which no one loses. And so just remembering the two choices for the two voices. Who do I want to allow to speak through me today? Who do I want to allow to speak to me today? And this isn't taking someone else over and controlling them. It's recognizing who they've always been. I can project fear, and I could see a form of what I would call you, but it would be the false you I made. I make a false me and I make a false you when I'm allowing ego to be in charge. So with spirit, I just allow you to be as you always have been and always will be. In eternal, benign power, eternal blessing, eternal joy. So it's not taking over someone else because there is no else. It's not controlling someone else. It's putting the illusion I made under the control of what is sane and loving. And everyone has that power. Where I feel conflict, I've oriented toward what would tell me I have certain powers over others, never with, over some others. But my powers will wane and I will die. This is ego's story. This is ego's destiny for all the false selves. In inventing ego, and any I can say I invented ego because it's all one I. I made, but I didn't create. I made an illusion. I didn't create anything real. I made an illusion that would tell me I am something separate and you're something separate. And sometimes we can have power over, but not power with, and that our power fades and that we die. And that's the function of what I made. Having seen that this is just an error, that ego can never be real because death can never be real, and a change to what I am as I was created and as you were created, that can't ever be real. What's left to do but to give the entire illusion to Spirit and to just say, use it on behalf of everyone and everything in such a way that nobody loses. Okay, now is the time for the clearing and cleansing of all relationships. Just taking that in. So it's super important to notice how I feel when I'm interacting with anyone, when anyone comes to mind, and even everything. You have a relationship with your shoes. You have a relationship with the road as you walk on it. You have a relationship with the air. You have a relationship to any bug you see, right? We're all the same stuff. And the opportunity that's here, every time we feel any lack of peace, is clearing. If I feel a lack of peace, there is a piece of something in my way. And it's a thought from ego, and it's a lie. And it leads to loops of past experiences, repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. But there is a way out of these loops for all of us. So every time I feel nervous or anxious, that means opportunity. It's a stop opportunity. Whatever train of thought I've been on that has caused that nervousness and anxiousness. Because nervousness and anxiousness are caused by thought, not by things, not by people. They're caused by thought, my thought. And if you believe you're not nervous and anxious, maybe substitute irritation, impatience. Whatever not good feelings are your go-to, maybe it's depression, gloom. It seems we have our little favorites, little whirlpools we tend to stew in, right? And maybe we have different ones at different times, but they're all opportunities. I feel silly when I say that, but it really is important to stop, because the key is in the thought. And if I'm willing to give the thought I had about the thing or the one to Spirit, and to remember I can reorient toward the power we all have with each other, the sanity we share with each other, the power of blessing that's shining in joy within everyone and everything, then I can remember what I'm reorienting today is lesson 300 something, maybe 314, in that vicinity, in A Course in Miracles. I seek a future different from the past. I'm just resting there for a moment. Ego would tell us we're vulnerable if we're not trying to control a future. But we can notice what arises when we start engaging in trying to control a future. In my experience, it seems I could, in my perceived past, get 17 thoughts into trying to control a future and not notice it. And maybe now I can only get 2 thoughts in. I'm sure that's wildly inaccurate, but and in some ways I get 23 thoughts in, but that's how it seems. But in my experience, if you make nothing, if you are divinely selfish, and you make nothing more important than how you feel, you'll notice sooner rather than later, and you will stop sooner rather than later, and you will reorient before things get too intense, before it seems too hard to handle, before it seems impossible. I seek a future different from the past, and there's so many ways of expressing that, and you might not put it in words. You might just take a breath. And here's where we step out of our loops. And when we step out of a repeating loop of past experience, we free everyone with us. And we allow the unifying voice of Holy Spirit to speak to and through everyone and everything. Having a one harmonic voice is not weird. It's weird for ego, because ego needs conflict, separation, being able to go to someone and get, being able to run away from someone and avoid, being able to refuse giving. In reality, we're always giving all that we are to everyone and everything all the time as beings. It's an endless giving and receiving. That's the truth of us. And my job now is to allow time and space to become a reflection in Spirit's hands of the truth of what everyone and everything together is. Allow that picture to be painted by what we all are together. So that's how form gets used now, as a reflection. But if I'm busy judging form and saying what seems to be wrong with it now, then I don't let the master painter get in there and use the form. Okay. We need to redefine apocalypse. If Jesus came to you and sorted your thoughts into two piles, helpful and unhelpful, would that be a problem? So that's what apocalypse is. It's a sorting out. And as I speak of paying very close attention to how you feel, you can consider yourself to be in apocalypse now. It's nothing to fear. It's a very helpful sorting out. And it doesn't matter if you don't feature Jesus in your thoughts, that's fine. However, it's happening for you. None of us needs a name anyhow. The beautiful presence of what we are together is available everywhere, and no one needs a name, although names get used in very helpful ways. Go look at Emily Dickinson's poem, I'm Nobody, Who Are You? Okay. So redefining apocalypse is just divine presence, which is what you are in the first place, coming to you in your experience of believing you're not divine presence, and helping you tell the difference between your helpful thoughts and your unhelpful thoughts, because the thoughts believed do the painting and the making of form and experience, and the thoughts cause the awareness or the emotion. So the thoughts are the building blocks. They're very important. And that's what the apocalypse is. It's not about a specific form that form takes. It's about allowing a complete redefining of the form. And can you see how when it comes up fearfully, people think apocalypse means a great destruction of the form in terrible ways. And let's imagine what those could be. It's just a sorting out of building blocks. Here are unhelpful building blocks, and you can see those playing out in the world, and those are unpleasant. And here are helpful building blocks, and let's use these from now on. And when you notice yourself oriented toward unhelpful building blocks, just turn around. Just turn around, rest, get the hang of allowing what unfolds next to be conducted by, inspired by what all of us are together. And yeah, on your way, any thoughts that seem to slice and dice and define us are going to need to be exposed and put down. So this flow that's here for all of us can take over. Okay, is there a reason not to allow everyone and everything to serve as a channel for spirit? There isn't, but when I don't feel good, I'm believing this. This is what I'm believing. There is a reason not to allow everyone and everything to serve as a channel right now for the innocence we are, for the holiness we are, for the sanity all of our beings share, for the way we're all provided for the ways in which the problems we see now get solved in a way in which no one loses. So anytime I feel hesitant, I'm believing there's a reason not to allow everyone and everything to serve as a channel for spirit. That's why paying attention to my feeling is so important. When I feel doubtful or suspicious, the ego's range is from suspicion to viciousness, according to A Course in Miracles. Why feel doubtful or suspicious? I do believe there's a reason not to allow everyone and everything to serve as a channel for spirit. And that's a lie from ego. How do I know? Because I feel suspicious, and that's unpleasant. Because I feel doubtful, and that's not joy, and that's not peace. So this is the apocalypse. This is the sorting out. And the thoughts are the building blocks, and it's not like you by yourself have to build a whole new world that tells the truth about who you and everyone and everything are and always have been together. The flow of what we all are together takes that over, takes form over. And anywhere there's a fear of someone or something in the world taking over, and I have a prominent one I keep bumping into. It's about people's use of my time. I think sometimes that if I were to let people have what they want, they would totally take over what I believe is my time to spend as I want to spend it. And I keep running into this resistance. So that's where I keep encountering it. And the thought, I believe, not to allow everyone and everything to serve as a channel for spirit, the thought, I believe, is I have to be in charge of my time. There will be no resting place for me if I don't control this. So I can put that thought down. I might not notice my behavior or my responses or my experiences change right away in my experience, but that's okay. Because I always see subtle and helpful changes in my experience when I stop to put a thought like this down. And sometimes it takes me months to really get into, to be able to stop and admit, I believe this about time. I believe I have to be in charge of time. And that if I'm not, other people are going to knock me flat with their desires and their demands, and I will be drained. It doesn't mean I have to force my behavior. I've really gone through this recently. It does me no good to force my behavior in a way that looks like I am giving, that I am allowing. I definitely don't. I say no when I feel no. It does no good. It's of no use to pretend in accordance with an ideal, because ego's making all the ideals. And ego's the one chastising me if it seems I'm not in alignment with an ideal, and that leads nowhere. So when I have a big no, my behavior aligns with it. because that's how behavior is produced. It's, I believe something and my behavior shows you that I do believe it. But having these moments to stop and acknowledge around the issue of the disposal of what I believe to be my time, I've got a definite no sir in there. And it's good to just use time for that purpose, to expose it. Not to attempt to try to change any patterns, though. Those happen in just beautiful and surprising ways in my experience. When I step out of a loop of repeating experience, it always comes as a wonderful surprise, a wonderful shift, and I did not have to do it. I need do nothing. I never have to do it. It just comes as a beautiful surprise for us to enjoy. So having that experience, I know, letting go of thoughts leads to shifts, even if they're shallow or they appear to be deep. They're always beautiful. And so there's no problem with stopping to look at the thought and reorienting away from the thought, because I know it's going to bring a beautiful surprise, something that I wasn't burdened with and I didn't have to do. And at the same time, there's no burden to change my behavior as an ego trying to be a good ego or trying to be giving of my time. I don't have to try to do that at all. It just happens very naturally. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you. Wishing you well.